In today's video, I'm exposing a space mission that looks more staged than the moon landing itself. I'm sure you guys already know I'm talking about this space trip Katy Perry went on alongside Lauren Sanchez, who of course is the fiance of Jeff Bezos.
Pop singer Katy Perry is officially an astronaut.
Katy!
And very happy to be back on Earth.
Now look, I was busy covering some other important stories, so I didn't even pay attention to all the cringe-inducing stuff they were releasing about this flight.
Thank you so much.
We love you.
We love you.
Bring us back safe.
We're so grateful.
We're counting on you.
We're counting on you.
We believe in you too.
This room a few days ago, and it is, is it a bomb-proof room? Do you want to say that? I mean, it is.
It is.
Yeah, and you feel it when you're in there. You're like, oh gosh, now
this
it
is
feels real.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show you the capsule that we have been training in for the last few days. Here I am. This is my call name, Feather. Here on the New Shepherd. I think I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna sing a little bit. I gotta sing in space.
But it would have been fine if they had just stuck to releasing these bizarre and out-of-touch clips. However, for some reason, they started pretending as if this was a great achievement for women.
And she saw a little girl in the back of the room who never felt like she belonged, and she pulled her up. And she got me tested for dyslexia, and my life kind of took off from there. And Lori, if you're here, I flew this feather to space for you.
And I'm so proud of us. I really am proud of me, because I never in a gazillion years thought I could do this. And I just saw a video of us walking up the, I don't want to call it plank, but.
Got it? 1, 2, 3. Taking up space! Tamir's in space!
So I guess those accomplished female athletes and scientists are losers because they couldn't marry billionaires and failed to reach space. But this ridiculous propaganda campaign didn't just end here. From everything that has come out so far, it looks like they never even went to space.
And then, actually, she starts laughing about it, as you can see right here, because, like I said, it's all staged. It has to look like it's open from the outside. Okay, now you guys just seen them faking it with your own eyes. Once again, watch them open the pressurized capsule from the inside, not knowing that it's not time, it's not cue time yet. And then you have the staged part where the media shows you all over the news that they're waiting for the guy to open the hatch.
Good? Okay, here we go.
Here goes Jeff Bezos to open the hatch.
She didn't really close it again. Come on out, guys.
And once again, you've been fooled, people.
I mean, the fact that they messed up the hatch opening already shows these people are not ready for any staged operation. And people online, of course, were quick to point out how this whole thing seemed extremely fake. Then on top of all this, Gayle King, who also went to space, kept making these mindless claims and statements.
But the best part was when we got back in our seats after 0 G's, Katy sang "What a Wonderful World."
She did?
Isn't that nice?
Oh, come on.
She sang "What a Wonderful World." I see
Did you get
dreams.
so
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Because we'd been asking her to sing all the time, and she wouldn't. And then, because everybody said, sing roar, sing fireworks. And she said, it's not about me. I wanted to talk about the world.
Wow.
I don't like that people are calling it a ride. A ride, you never see a male astronaut who's going up in space and they said, oh, he took a ride.
And this acting continued to other passengers as well. For instance, here's what Katy Perry said about her experience.
I couldn't recommend this experience more. This is like up there with all the, different tools that I've learned in my life, from meditation to the Hoffman process. This is up there.
Well, her ex-husband, Russell Brand, also talked about finding himself and finding God after it came out that he attended a Diddy freak-off party while he was married to Katy Perry.
Go for the Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? We are on the plane right now, on our way to Vegas. It's called "What Happens in Vegas Stays in Vegas." I'm here with this is my new best friend right here. My new best friend. Hello, Rusty Rocket. Is this for Twitter? Yeah, yes. Also known as Russell Brand. Yes, he's very, 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 very dear friend of mine.
The stuff went on at those Diddy parties that I was not qualified to handle as a person that is craving a deep and profound connection to God, and denied that connection to God, I'll make all sorts of ridiculous choices.
Now, even the people who are usually supporting such planned stunts spoke out against this so-called space flight. I'm of course talking about Hollywood celebrities, many of whom simply didn't approve of what these women were trying to achieve.
Like, what are you guys gonna do up in space? What are you doing up there? I mean, it's, by the way, they're going, but like, it's so much money to go to space. Yeah. You know, and there's a lot of people who can't even afford eggs.
And they're not wrong. Instead of burning millions upon millions of dollars on a fake stunt, why couldn't they have donated all this money to people who really need it? And besides, weren't Katy Perry and Gayle King trying to spread awareness about the carbon footprint? In an interview that has been deleted from YouTube, Katy Perry said, "Clothes are in the top 5 of the most polluting things for our planet, and I cannot be a part of that like I was, especially knowing my daughter is going to grow up in that." Well, I think going to space is burning way more fuel than all the clothes an average woman can probably buy in her entire life. So of course, people were quick to call out her hypocrisy.
That space mission this morning, that's like, this is beyond parody. Saying that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth and you're going up in a spaceship that is built and paid for by a company that's single-handedly destroying the planet. Look at the state of the world and think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what? For what was the marketing there? And then to try to make it like, I'm disgusted, literally, I'm disgusted.
However, the very fact that these women are friends with Lauren Sanchez should make it perfectly clear that they are lying when they talk about the environment. Jeff Bezos flies on his private jet so frequently that I'm surprised he's not using a damn helicopter to go to the toilet. And let's not forget his mega yacht.
Jeff Bezos' $500 million super yacht is insane.
He literally put a sculpture of his bride-to-be on the front of his yacht.
The spectacular vessel is not only one of the most expensive private boats ever built and purchased, but she is also among the top largest private yachts on the planet.
Now, I'm not disappointed at these ultra-rich millionaires. In fact, I'm mad at the media companies, which gave them way more coverage than what was given to those astronauts who were stuck in outer space. And I think the reason was simple. They were stuck up there because Joe Biden could not accept help from Elon Musk.
My question relates to Elon Musk has said that he made the offer to bring you guys back earlier and that it was denied. My first question is that true? And if so, what would that have looked like? Was he offering to make another flight, push seats on another flight? Could you give us some background there?
I can only say that Mr. Musk, what he says is absolutely factual. We have no information on that, though, whatsoever. What was offered, what was not offered, who it was offered to, how that process went. That's information that we simply don't have. So I believe him. I don't know all those details, and I don't think any of us really can give you the answer that maybe that you would be hoping for.
Since we're talking about Musk, let me show you why Jeff Bezos likely orchestrated this entire stunt. His company Blue Origin was considered a competitor to SpaceX when it first started. However, it has clearly not achieved nearly as much as SpaceX, and that's why its current valuation is between $30 to $50 billion. Now, that might seem like a lot of money, but it's nothing compared to the kind of valuation SpaceX has received. In June of last year, Elon Musk's rocket company was valued at $210 billion.
SpaceX, the most valuable US private company ever. A new record for Elon Musk's company, this time worth $210 billion. That basically makes it more valuable than Disney, than Goldman Sachs. And how do we know where the market cap is? Well, because we're starting to see insiders, so long-term investors or employees, selling some shares in their so-called tender offer, and the demand is so high It's driven up the share price that they're going to be able to sell at, and therefore the market capitalization.
And after just 6 months, that valuation was all the way up to $350 billion in December.
The $350 billion valuation is a huge jump. Even just last month, they were discussing $255 billion valuation.
Funny enough, that's when Jeff Bezos made a claim that his company, Blue Origin, would be bigger than Amazon, which has a market cap of nearly $2 trillion.
I think it's going to be, from a business point of view, from a financial returns point of view, I think it's going to be the best business that I've ever been involved in, but it's going to take a while.
So to me, it looks like this was just a stunt to bring his space tourism company into the spotlight, but clearly it backfired and now they're a laughing joke. While addressing this criticism, Lauren Sanchez said critics should see the joy and excitement on the faces of the people who worked on her flight. Well, what about the joy on the faces of people who work for Amazon? I mean, as far as I remember, they have some very interesting things to say about Jeff Bezos and his company.
Here's some things I wish I knew before working at Amazon. Amazon workers have the highest injury rates in their industry. This is due to untrained safety staff, broken equipment, or not using the right equipment for our job. And number two is the low pay. Amazon is one of the #1 companies in the world, but it offers no pay increase when you learn a different process path or a different department. It has a low wage increase and a low starting pay, lower than some of the other businesses in their industry. And last, of course, is the unmanageable workloads. Especially during Prime, you have to advocate for yourself, and there's little to no rotation in these departments. And these unreasonable job constraints and time constrictions contribute to the stress that the workers go through.
I'm already waiting for you guys to share your theories about this fake space flight with us in the comment section below. But before you scroll down, let me just talk about this crash in upstate New York.
The small plane crashed in the middle of an open field in Copake yesterday. That was about noon. According to the AP, the victims were a close group of friends and family heading to the Catskills for a birthday.
Look, folks, this is a tragic situation where an entire family died in an instant. However, there is something I want to share with you that's been bugging me. I've covered so many crashes in the last few months, and for some reason, the number 6 often seems to come up while talking about the death toll in these private jet incidents. I'm sure you remember the Philadelphia crash, where an air ambulance plunged into a populated neighborhood and resulted in the deaths of all 6 people on board.
Yeah, man, she's still hanging.
In the Hudson River crash, all 6 people inside the helicopter died tragically.
3 adults and 3 children were on board a Bell 206 helicopter that had left from the downtown skyport just about 3 p.m. At this time, all 6 victims have been removed from the water. And sadly, all 6 victims have been pronounced deceased.
And then we have this family of doctors and college football stars, and once again, 6 people lost their lives.
The private plane crashed just after noon in a muddy field near Copake, killing all 6 people on board.
Now, it might just be a coincidence, but I wanted to share it with you because for some reason, coincidences often pop up when you try to investigate these crashes. The next subject I want to discuss involves the Real ID, which is receiving a lot of attention from this current administration.
Hi, I'm Christine Ulm, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. If you plan on traveling, we need your help to prevent delays and to prove your identity. Get a Real ID. Starting May 7th, you will need a Real ID to travel by air or to visit federal buildings in the United States.
Of course, many people are not too fond of signing up for it, and one such person is Congressman Ron Paul, who raised questions about the Real ID when it was first approved.
Bill, there are no limitations of the information that may be placed on this identification card. There are minimum standards, but no maximum limitations. And the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security can add anything it wants. So if they would like to put on there the fact that you belong to a pro-gun group, it may well appear on your national ID card because there may be an administration someday that might like to have that information.
Now, the current version of the Real ID isn't that dangerous, but since there aren't any limitations to what kind of changes can be made to it, this ID can become another surveillance tool. So even though I understand why the government is pushing for this, I hope they address some of the issues people have with it. Now, we're going to end this video by showing you what Joe Biden said after he was revived by the Democrats for yet another mindless speech.
That's what the legislation is about. It's about dignity. Simple dignity. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of their standing, regardless of their economic situation, regardless of who they are. Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who are living with disabilities are treated with dignity is who we are as Americans. That's what it's about. And I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time I was only going in the 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
I mean, even if this is the real Joe Biden, can't you guys just let him live out his days in peace? For God's sake, he's already done enough to ruin his legacy. And that will be it for today, folks. I'm looking forward to reading your thoughts, so don't forget to leave comments on this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.